here with Jesse Vaughn, the owner of Level 7 Motorsports. Jesse, how you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. It feels good to finally check out the shop. We got recommended to you by our homie Sean Bassett of Attacking the Clock Racing. He had a lot of good things to say about you guys and kind of pointed us in your direction. So I did a quick deep dive just to try and figure out what you guys are all about. I'll start with what I know. I know you build awesome road race trucks, but there is a lot more than building trucks. Why don't you fill in the blanks and tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
Yeah, so Level 7 Motorsports was created back in 2001. So after I graduated high school, I got a business license for Level 7 Motorsports. And mainly back then it was just to do some retail sales and, try to help some people with parts and stuff like that. So that's where it started. I had another full-time career for up until 2011. And in 2011 is when I took a step away from my day job. And I built the building that I'm sitting in now. And kind of ever since then, it's just been just a wild ride. I thought that originally I would build this one building and work by myself in here and build one vehicle at a time. And now there's, a few of us, and we've built, we're on our third building edition now. So over the years, we've built a lot of different things, but here in the last probably 5 or 6 years, we've kind of settled into what I call a niche within the niche. And we are kind of into domestic pickup trucks, or pickup trucks of any kind. But then we kind of dive a little bit deeper into like the motorsports grade autocross and road course racing world of trucks. Yeah. So, Level 7 is happy to build anything. And we've built a lot of vehicles, and even you can see behind me, I've got a 65 Mustang that we're helping put together for a customer. But but 9 out of 10 times, the requests, are for us to build some type of, street autocross truck or, road course truck or something like that. So, that's where we've been now for the last few years and had a lot of great success. And, we've kind of been able to jump deeper and deeper into technology and kind of explore, realms that we haven't been into before. So we're getting a little more advanced in technology kind of as we go. But so that's Level 7, and that's where we are now. We compete a lot in the Optima Search for the Ultimate Streetcar Series. We've raced my yellow and white truck. Actually, we just retired that truck. We sold that truck and it's retired now. Yeah, but we had raced that truck in the series for a few years and are now looking at the possibility of building another truck that'll be owned by the shop. But we've got a ton of customers who do that type of racing, and we're happy to support them. And really the last few years too, we've also been able to use our experience in building these trucks and kind of expand upon our manufacturing side and our parts sales side. So probably half or even a little more than half of our business now is from parts sales. So really it's kind of a split deal now, where we're building vehicles that we want to build to continue the reputation of what we do. But then a lot more effort on my behalf is developing new products and continue to build our SKU lists and support DIY builders in their shops as well.
So you're fabricating and designing in-house and then retailing right from the shop and online?
Yeah, we are. And actually, we just got picked up by Summit Racing too. So Summit Racing will be warehousing all of Level 7 stuff as well. So you'll be able to buy directly from us or Summit Racing for our products. And then if you needed help saying, hey, I've got a good skill set, but I don't know exactly what products to buy, you can always shoot us a request from our email or from our website. That'll send us an email and it'll say, hey, my name's Richard. I'm looking for a frame and an engine. I'm kind of looking to buy everything through you guys, but I can do it in my garage. And so that's, a part of a business that we've been doing a lot lately. So we've been happy to do that. And really the truth be told is there's not a lot of guys that we can find to hire that have the skill set, on the level that we want. So, ultimately, if we can't facilitate building all these vehicles, then we might as well help facilitate them doing the projects in their garages. So
that's badass, man. And you guys are located in Illinois, right?
Yeah, we're the very bottom of Illinois. So we're not far from Kentucky. We're kind of where Interstate 24 comes up and touches 57.
So you're not far from a whole handful of local racetracks, I can imagine.
Oh yeah, yeah. St. Louis isn't far. Atlanta's not far. Gingerman and a bunch of Road America, all that stuff's not that far. So there is quite a bit of racing to be done here in the Midwest.
That's awesome, man. So without further ado, do you mind showing us around the shop?
Oh, I'd be happy to.
Love to take a look.
Okay, so this is when you step in the front door of the office. This addition was built on in 2017, actually. And so the original shop is in here, but we'll kind of take a look in here. So this is just an area that we can meet with potential clients or current clients and kind of go over their projects and or just straight up hang out on lunch. So pretty comfortable.
Wait, is that a real dog?
Office space.
I see the cat.
This is a real cat.
Oh my God.
That's a real tiny chihuahua. That's Megan.
Oh my God, that's adorable.
Yeah, and there's another one in here somewhere. But anyways, so this is the front office. We've got a big glass shop door that on nice days we can just open that up and let the fresh air in. Yeah, we've got, our merch and, cataloging and stuff like that up here. We've got a bathroom for customers, and then we've got a big area in the back where our kids can hang out, or we can eat lunch back there. Yeah, kids watch movies and stuff when they get back from school. But yeah, so anyways, this is the office portion of the shop. I'm going to step over into the assembly side of the shop. So this is kind of like where I will mock up new chassis, or I'm doing plumbing and wiring over here. So these are a couple vehicles that I'm wiring right now. This is a 1990 OBS 454 SS truck. Yeah, so it's a low mile, like 24,000 mile truck that we're doing a build on. It's got a dry sump LS9 that we did, and then a BMW 7-speed DCT transmission behind it. We did all the chassis and suspension work. It's a torque arm, Watts link, all of our exhausts. These are our fuel tanks that have 12 chambers in them, and a CNC top lid that we weld on. But these are the Aftermarket Industries Track Edition FC1000 pump assembly. So there's 450 pumps in there. One's primary and one's redundant. But this vehicle's getting all motorsport grade wiring as well. You can see the rake M on the harness there. But it's got drive shaft speed and independent wheel speed, and this will be a pretty cool drive to a track day.
I was going to ask, so these are
enjoy
a street truck at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah, so it's like a dual purpose truck, right? So you can put it in automatic. You can put it in automatic mode just like you would a 3 Series, drive it to the track, do a few sessions on a Saturday and drive it home.
That's the name of the game.
Yep. So that's what that one is. Yeah, so this one is more of a street cruiser truck. So this is a convertible Blazer. If you guys don't know, there was only a few years of convertibles there, they're in that early generation. This is a real deal 2-wheel drive California truck, but in the middle of wiring right now and waiting for some stuff to come back to the body from the body shop. But it's on an aftermarket, like a roadster shop chassis, LS3. But anyways, this one's a pretty standard build for us, but still very cool nonetheless. And then this chassis that we walked by a few minutes ago is actually for another one of these 454 SS trucks, and we'll actually show it to you. It's over in the other shop, but this will be a build that we're putting together for SEMA next year. And so this is a production number 1 of 1 chassis for the OBS trucks that were from 88 to 98. But
wow.
Pretty trick deal here. Really heavy duty chassis. It's got independent rear suspension, push rod, cantilever stuff. So we're pretty excited to put this truck together. But this truck is on the other side, and I'll show it to you real quick. The interesting thing is that our shop's located in Marion, Illinois, and the truck that we got shipped to us from Texas was actually bought brand new in Marion, Illinois back in 1992. So it was bought brand new here in town and has made it back for a complete rebuild. But so I don't know if you guys know much about these trucks. They're becoming very popular and starting to kind of increase in value. But this truck here is a white 92. So this is like one of 121 trucks produced that year. And this one has 5,000. Yeah, so this one has 5,600 miles on it. So this is a essentially a brand new
crazy
truck. So yeah, so this is what we're starting with. And that's the chassis you guys just saw. So this is what we call the fabrication side of the shop. And this is the shop that I originally built, for me to just spend all my time in. So I had built like a makeshift paint booth over there. And so I used to do everything. I used to do the body work and paint and everything in here. But now we're busy enough to where we just outsource all that stuff. But this one's pretty cool. This one's a 65 fastback. This has got all Cortex Racing SLA front suspension, so dual A-arm front. This has got Olin's coilovers on it. It's got a cambered 9-inch in the rear with a torque arm and a Watts link. It's got a Mass Motorsports Black Label 427 LS motor with ITBs. Yep. Okay. And then we're so this one's here for kind of a refresh, so to speak.
Now, do most of these end up as like autocross and road course vehicles for the most part?
Yes, for the most part. So this car here is from Arizona, and he will probably do a combination of track days and street driving. So cool. A lot of dual purpose vehicles. Yeah. So most of our customers want to be able to drive them to work if they have the opportunity. Take them to dinner with their wives, and then also, 6 or 7 times a year do like a weekend track day or grid life event or something like that. So kind of following that same recipe is this truck that we're kind of wrapping up now. So all these trucks are built on chassis. We mainly do no limit engineering chassis. You can kind of peek in here. The bed floor is not in this one yet, but they've got a 9-inch Ford. This one's a full floater. It's got big spline bars front and rear. This one's got, I think, 11.5-inch wide front wheel and a 12.5-inch wide rear wheel. It's got a supercharged LS motor. Yeah, so same theory behind this truck here. Drive it to work, take his wife out, do some autocrossing. Same intent, pretty much follows throughout all these vehicles. This one here on the lift is one that we've been working on for a couple years now. It's an 84 truck that we did a full build on. So paint, body, chassis. It's got 1,000 horsepower supercharged LS engine, automatic trans. Yeah, big wheel and tire all the way around. So, high power. Yeah, same thing. Just a really nice truck that he can drive or, go out and be a jackass in or whatever. Yeah. Yep. So this is the fab shop. We keep a lot of stuff put away so it doesn't look too cluttered, but we can pretty much do anything out here. We keep a lot of our tooling now in the paint booth. So this is the space that we use for that stuff. And that's about it. Right now we're building a new 50-foot by 60-foot shop across the street. So we have 2 acres on this side of the shop, and we've got 2 acres on the other side of the street.
Oh, nice place. That's cool.
Yeah. So we're out here in the country. Primarily, there's nobody out here. We're at the end of a dead end street, and it's great. People have to really kind of look to find us out here.
That's a good testing ground too when you got 1,000 horsepower trucks. Sitting at the shop.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the tour of the shop. Some of the vehicles that we're working on right now, and then I don't know. You have any questions about what it is that we do, or maybe what we do is maybe a little uncommon for these tours?
No, I think that is part of what makes it so cool, is that it's a step outside of what normal people would consider like your race vehicle. People kind of separate like trucks and racing a lot, and there's a huge mixed gray area in between it all. So big question is, obviously you're building basically everything on these reinforced, modernized chassis. Is that essential when you're building something like this for the road course?
Yeah, it really is. And the factory chassis is just too weak. They're too easy, and there's too much like torsional twist in the chassis. So we always do aftermarket chassis. And really, we get posed that question quite a bit. Like, hey, I'm just going to street drive my truck. Do you really think that I need an aftermarket chassis? And even for that guy, I think that it's more important to go with an aftermarket chassis. Just how much foundation and how much strength is in that chassis allows the suspension to do all of its work. And A lot of the vehicles that are just street driven around here, guys are like, this doesn't even drive like a brand new truck. These drive like brand new cars. And really, a lot of the suspension geometry change that's done in the aftermarket chassis just really can't be done on the stock chassis without replacing everything. And at that point, it just doesn't make sense. You're getting into a amount of work and money that, it's almost apples to apples when you buy the whole replacement chassis, especially if you're having a shop do the work for you.
Right. Now, you've been at this since 2001. What's changed the most, would you say, in like the aftermarket building industry over this time?
A lot of the same people, we interact with. It's just that trends have changed a lot over the last 20 years. And, the vehicles that people find interesting now are vehicles that, just plain weren't a buildable vehicle back in the day. So a lot of these trucks that we're building, when I was in high school, they were $1,500 trucks. And I think that beyond the 1967 to 72 trucks, people didn't even care about square bodies. There was guys even locally around here that had yards full of 67 to 72s, and like anything they had that was square body or newer, they just scrapped, they got rid of. So, we're building $250,000 vehicles now out of vehicles that, people just didn't even see any value in. Even 15 years ago, they didn't see any value in those square body trucks. And it's just that, that trend just kind of keeps moving up by generation every so often. So the 73 to 87 trucks are highly popular. And now like this white OBS, that's the 1988 to 98. Right. So those are becoming more and more popular. And even all these low mile, like 454 SS trucks, they're becoming really hard to find. So for instance, that white truck that has 5,000 miles on it, that's worth $60,000 right now. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so they're getting more and more valuable. But like I said, compared to, some of the cars that I used to be into, the trucks were worth nothing.
Right.
We really didn't care at all. So I think that what's happened over the years is that guys are continually looking for different platforms, right? So even if you go all the way back to like when I was in high school in the late 90s, I was into four-wheel drive trucks early on, and then I got into domestic muscle cars for a short amount of time, and then it went hard import car, right? So from the late 90s up until probably 2008, I was into Civics and S13s and S14s and absolutely. And I've had 3 or 4 EG hatches. I had an EJ coupe, so like a 96 and 98 coupe. I had an S13. I've had a couple S13s, one S14 that I did Optima racing in back in 2011 and 12.
Oh, that's badass. I love that.
Yeah, so I've kind of tried to just stay, with my ear to the ground, so to speak, and just looking at what platforms are coming up. Is there stuff that we need to learn or customers that we need to cater to? But like I said, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, we kind of landed in the truck world that I was pretty passionate about at the time. And we've just this entire business has just kind of built itself around that niche now.
Yeah, definitely. One thing we found with a lot of like performance building shops, and even guys that aren't building for performance, but just like modifying vehicles, is there's almost a nostalgia factor to the platform that comes in. Like maybe with trucks like that, it's guys that didn't grow up with the money to go crazy with it, and now they've settled into their life and they've got the disposable income and they remember the truck from back then. So I think it's a lot of those guys as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got vehicles that I have a soft spot for that are completely unrelated to what I build. But, I hear that story with every truck that we build. Like, hey, my grandpa had a truck just like this that he used to take me to school in, or, there's some type of connection that they have, with the vehicles that we build. And that's pretty much every time. I mean, there's not really one customer that I've had that's just like, hey, I think these truck paints are cool. Let me try that. There's some type of connection or nostalgia that every customer has.
Well, before we let you go, I want to know, is there something that you guys have built that's come through your shop that we absolutely need to check out? Do you have like a personal favorite or one that's like truly the wildest thing that's ever come through your doors?
So the thing that I'm happiest about was our yellow and white square body truck, which is all over our webpage and it's all over our YouTube channel. That was probably the most high tech that I pushed myself into. So it had a SADEV sequential 6-speed trans that was pneumatically paddle shifted. It had a 448 cubic inch high compression LS motor that was dry sump, all independent suspension. It had traction control. electric steering. I mean, it was, you know,
Fancy.
a high-tech race car with a truck body on it. So if nobody knows about that truck, or if you haven't seen in-car footage of me at Road America or something in that truck, you should definitely check that out. But we've got a wide variety of stuff that we've built over the years. There's a Army Green Dodge Power Wagon that we finished a couple years ago that was on 40-inch tall tires and stretched to a crew cab and had a Hellcat motor in it. That's a pretty famous one. We've built FJ40 Land Cruisers. We've built Thunderbird cars. We've built so many unique things, but the one that I'm probably the closest with would be our yellow and white square body that you'll see all over the internet.
Probably the most associated with your name at this point too, so that makes sense.
If you Google Level 7 Motorsports, you're going to get a bunch of yellow and white truck pictures.
So for anybody who's watching who may not know already, where can they find you and where can they find the shop, where they look for more information?
Yeah, so primarily Instagram is the one that we cater to the most. So it's Level 7 Motorsports. We're slowly trying to build our YouTube channel as well, which is also Level 7 Motorsports. Cool. And our webpage is level7motorsports.com. And it's actually the word 7, but I think any way you type it, you're going to find us. So
awesome. Well, Jesse, thank you very much for your time today, brother. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully I'll see you at SEMA this year. Definitely
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it. And thanks again, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to do this.